Science has convinced me to be an optimist. Today, I'll try to convince you that you should believe in a bright future almost fanatically. Take a look at this chart. On the vertical axis, you see the number of times you cough in 10 minutes during an illness. On the horizontal axis, time in minutes. If you take a cough medicine, then after about an hour and a half, your coughing decreases fivefold. The medicine works, right? But imagine you've been deceived. Instead of real medicine, you were given an inactive substance, for example, sugar, inside the capsule. You drink it, convinced it will help, and your coughing still drops 4.5 times. In other words, 85% of the effect from many cough medicines comes from your belief that they will work. Another example. In a 2012 study, volunteers were given a sweet drink along with immunosuppressants, drugs that weaken the immune system. For several days, everything worked as expected. But then, without telling them, researchers removed the active ingredient and left only the soda. You'd expect the immune system to bounce back, but it didn't. Participants believed they were still taking the drug, and their immunity remained suppressed. This shows that the power of conviction can influence even the body's main defense system. And it's not just the immune system. Imagine I give two groups the same 320-calorie milkshake, but I tell one group it has only 160 calories. The misled group ends up feeling significantly hungrier. And it's not just a feeling. Their blood tests show much higher levels of ghrelin, the hunger hormone. They convinced themselves they were hungry, and their bodies responded with real hunger. This phenomenon is called the placebo effect. Placebo accounts for 50 to 75% of the effect of antidepressants, reduces anxiety, treats panic attacks and social phobias, lessens pain, helps with erectile dysfunction, and even plays a role in epilepsy treatment. Placebo isn't just a mental trick. It triggers real physiological responses in the body. For example, there are surgeries where the surgeon does nothing but make an incision. Absurd? Perhaps. Yet in the case of knee osteoarthritis, such sham surgeries sometimes relieve pain even better than the most effective drugs. So how can we use this effect in real life? In a recent experiment, beginners at the gym were given a pill labeled as powerful amino acids. Their performance increased by 20%. Even trained athletes improved by 22% when given fake stimulants. Professional powerlifters lifted 8% more weight when told they had taken steroids. Olympic runners improved their speed by 8%, and cyclists reached the finish line 5% faster. But it's not only about muscles. Placebo can make you smarter. In one study, participants were told that electrical brain stimulation would boost their intelligence, and it did. In another, people were asked to smell a special scent, supposedly altering hormones and removing mental blocks. They became more creative. Even telling someone they slept better than usual improved their math scores and associative thinking test results. Placebo can enhance focus, working memory, and much more. If you believe you're creative, intelligent, healthy, fast, or strong, you tend to become that way. If you convince yourself everything will be fine, the odds increase dramatically. But that doesn't mean optimists always live in a perfect world. Naive optimism, believing everything will turn out well just because, often leads to disappointment. Optimistic couples, for example, argue and break up more often than others, and excessive faith in personal health can actually raise mortality risks. There's another type, realistic optimism. This is the belief that things will turn out well because you will take the necessary actions. This is where the placebo effect truly shines. Placebo always comes with an action. You take a pill, undergo surgery, or put on special shoes, and then you perform better yourself. Realistic optimists are more likely to take care of their health, and it pays off, for example, by slowing the progression of cardiovascular diseases. They live 15% longer, are more satisfied in marriage, have solid incomes, advance faster in their careers, apply for more jobs, make better financial decisions, find partners more successfully, and lose weight more effectively. They sleep better, handle stress more efficiently, and have stronger immune and cardiovascular systems. Studies show that even in poor countries or harsh conditions, it's better to be an optimist. An optimist acts because they believe their efforts will pay off. Can you become one? Absolutely. Pessimism isn't a life sentence. Start by thinking optimistic thoughts, writing positive plans, having inspiring conversations, and reframing your mindset toward success. The world can be harsh, but if you begin your actions believing in your own abilities, your chances of winning rise dramatically.